Hello, friends, and welcome back to Malicious Compliance Stories. Holy crap, OP! What's your manager's policy on customer interaction? Maybe it's really naive of me, but if someone was insulting you on that level, your manager would have understood if you firmly told her she overstepped. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Here we go. Believe me, you're lucky the manager wasn't around, lady. I've been working at a warehouse club for several years. I work in the electronics department because I feel like people who ask me questions there are generally more pleasant and eager to buy stuff and easier to deal with rather than the usual complaints other departments have to deal with. Unluckily, I was just passing through the cash registers today when this customer, an older lady, came up to me in a huff. Lady, is there a manager around here? Me, puts on my best smile. No, ma'am, but maybe I could help you or get a manager for you if you really need one. Lady, I'm looking for your Charmin Ultrasoft. My girlfriend says you guys have it, but I just can't find it. Me, well, that should be an item we carry, but let me check on the computer to see if we still have it. At this point, I still believe this would have been the usual finding an item that moved. Lady, you can't talk to me like that. I'm a customer. Me, excuse me? Talk to you like what, ma'am? Lady, you're treating me like an idiot who can't find things. I look back there and I know you don't have it. Me, no ma'am, I was just going to check on the computer. I checked the computer and it turns out we sold out of the Charmin and that more would arrive next Saturday. I politely inform her of that. Me, bracing myself internally, well, it looks like we're all sold out, ma'am, but we should be getting a shipment in on the 27th. Lady, the 27th? I don't care if you're getting it on the 27th, I need it now. Me, I'm sorry, ma'am, but I can check to see if any of our other... Lady, I'm not going to another warehouse. Do you know how far I had to drive to get to this one? Me, I'm really sorry. Lady, I don't care. What about your organic produce? Me, what kind of organic produce are you looking for, ma'am? Lady, cherries. Me, checks computer. I'm sorry, but we don't have any organic cherries. We do have strawberries, blueberries. Lady, blueberries? I didn't see any organic blueberries. Show me where they are. So at this point, I lead her toward the back of the warehouse where we keep the fresh produce. Lady, well, at least it's a good walk all the way back there. And then she drops the bomb. Lady, because it looks like you could really use the exercise. It took everything I had to stop my jaw from dropping to the ground. However, I hold on from turning around and confronting her. I will admit that I'm overweight, but not obviously so. I do work out and my fat's rather tight, so my arms are still bony, my face isn't round, and even my stomach appears flat. Most of my fat is concentrated on my butt, so much so that if I had hips, I'd probably have a bubble butt rivaling Kim Kardashian. Me, awkwardly trying to ignore what she just said. Yes, I usually walk around 10 miles in a day at work. Lady, you have a fitness tracker tracking that? Me, yes, I have a Fitbit, but I'm not wearing it right now. Lady, well, you really should wear it. It would help you. So now we reach the produce area, and we don't see any organic produce outside. I think of checking inside the open cooler and start heading that way. Me, I think they might be in the produce cooler, ma'am. It has been a bit warm lately. Lady, this is ridiculous. Why would they be in the cooler? That doesn't make any sense. Why do you not have a sign saying that organic produce is in your cooler? They should be outside where I can find them. Lo and behold, we see organic blueberries and strawberries in the cooler. Lady, let me see that. Organic blueberries. Well, I don't need organic blueberries, I need cherries. Me, I apologize, ma'am, but we currently don't have any organic cherries. Maybe you could put a suggestion or a request so that our buyers... Lady, that is not my job. That is your job, you lazy butt. Don't make me do your job for you. I told you what you need to take care of it. Me, ma'am, that's not my job. I work with electronics. I'm not a buyer or a manager. We can go up front and see a manager and they can put in a suggestion directly to our buyers. Lady, I don't want to see a manager. You need to do your job. I'm not doing it for you. I came all this way and you guys don't have anything. I could have gone to Wegmans instead of taking my business here. I want to file a complaint. Me, giving up. Well, then we can head up front and I'll find a manager for you, ma'am. Lady, this is why I wouldn't hire young guys. You're all lazy bums who can't get anything done. Do your effing job. I shouldn't need to do this for you. Luckily, I see my manager walking towards the back at this moment, so I stop him and walk over with old lady in tow. Me. Manager, great timing. This customer has something to say. Manager, giving me a look because I was way too relieved and happy to see him. How can I help you, ma'am? Lady, I couldn't find your organic stuff. Why are they in the cooler and not with the regular produce outside? There needs to be a sign so that I can find them. This is ridiculous. Why can't you guys do your jobs? This is marketing 101. Manager, well, it's been kind of hot lately, ma'am, so we moved the organics inside the cooler so they wouldn't spoil. Lady, that doesn't make any sense. I couldn't find them because they were moved. I shouldn't have to explain this. Marketing 101. Lady, looking over at me, you can go away now. So yeah, my coworkers all said they would have turned around and snapped back at her after the exercise comment and taken her straight to the manager. I wish I did because he would have canceled her membership for that, and then I would never have to deal with her again. And our second story. Customer not happy with 95% discount. This happened a decade ago when I was working for Mervyn's, a department store in America that went bankrupt. I was one of the seasonal employees who were hired to work the holiday season, September to December. 2 weeks after getting hired, the entire company declared bankruptcy and quickly went into a closeout sale. We were told that our store would be closing for good by around January, but most of the staff would be gone by January 1st. At the start of December, most of the staff stopped giving a F, thinking more about finding new jobs and giving that excellent customer service that we're told to give. I mean, what were they going to do, fire us early? One employee, Matt, had been there for a decade and felt cheated that he spent his entire 20s working for them and would have nothing to show for it, so he decided to create his own discounts. If you don't know, at least at Mervyn's, any staff member could give a discount on any item in the store if they wanted to. It was meant to be like 5% off this, 10% that for special occasions. In reality, there was no limit to how much you could discount things. This is when Matt gave 0 Fs and would start discounting entire purchases if the person was nice or a cute girl. It started off with 5 to 10% off, but as the store got closer to closing and our hours were getting cut, it went up with each passing week until it was 50 to 75% off. One evening, I'm working with Matt, and this really cute girl walks up with what had to have been $500 in clothes. Matt starts ringing it up, making small talk about her job and what a stressful day she's had, so she's treating herself. When he goes to apply a special discount, he makes a point of saying that because she seems like a good person who deserves a break, and to make the day even special and giving her a special discount of 95%. He probably thought it would impress her. Her eyes light up and getting such a huge deal, but then when he shows her the new amount due, she got extra flirty and was whining about her day, and how could it be even better if it was 100% off? Matt obviously knew what he was doing was illegal and could blame the system for giving deep discounts, but even managers who didn't care would notice 100% off, so he laughed it off, saying that even he doesn't get that good of a deal, and he's the one dishing them out. She stops being flirty and charming, instead getting upset, saying that if he doesn't give her the items for free, that she'll talk to his manager and he'd be fired. He says that she wins, and she gets this smug look of satisfaction just before he takes off his name tag, logs out of the system, and walks to the exit. The whole time I'm watching this happen, and the girl just seamlessly picks up the stack of clothes she wants to buy and puts it at my station next to his, saying that she'd like that 95% discount with a smile, like I'd honor that idiot's theft. I lie and tell her that I don't have the ability to give discounts, but I'd be happy to call over another manager who has the clearance for that. She stormed out, muttering insults about retail workers and that it's no wonder the company's going under. And our last story. The HOA Karen demolished my building and built a parking lot for 20 cars there. So my grandma and grandpa used to own this huge cottage on the outskirts of the city. Sadly, my grandpa passed away when he was around 80, and my grandma was left all alone. I couldn't be with her all the time because of work, so we hired a nurse to take care of her. But here's where things get wild. When my grandma turned 90, this construction firm swooped in and bought the land next to her place. They built around 50 townhouses of different sizes. The fanciest ones were right next to my grandma's house. Now, after they finished building these houses, they formed a homeowners association. You know, an HOA. And let me tell you, these guys were up to no good. They started sending letters to my grandma trying to get her to join the HOA so they could jack up the property prices, My mother responded with a categorical refusal since my grandmother was already partially incapacitated. We hired 2 nurses who took turns looking after my grandmother almost all day because we couldn't be there constantly due to work. One day when I arrived at my grandmother's, I saw that the shed on the border of our property was demolished and a parking lot was built in its place, separated from us by a large fence. When I asked my grandmother, she knew nothing about it. I took my lawyer and started dealing with this situation. The HOA responded that they bought the land from my grandmother and presented documents with a sum of $500. It turned out that their agents were monitoring my grandmother's house, and while the caregiver was away shopping, they sent a realtor who convinced my grandmother to sell them the land for $500. They had a properly signed and notarized document, and they threatened to sue me and leave me with nothing if I tried to do anything about their parking lot. My lawyer said that it would be difficult to prove that those documents were invalid and it could take years, so I went to my relative who co-owned a small brewery and bought 5 tons of processed hops from him, which they sell as fertilizer. I evenly spread it over my land, which is adjacent to the most expensive houses in the HOA. I took my grandmother to stay with my mother for 2 weeks, and I left there for a week. The next day, I'd missed 30 calls from the HOA. Anyone who knows how processed hops smell will understand why there were so many calls. The HOA's lawyers were trying to sue me, but essentially it was just fertilizer for my land. And after a week, when the smell began to dissipate, I brought another truckload of manure. In the end, the HOA had to pay my grandmother a hefty sum for that land. Since then, they haven't tried to screw me over for 3 years. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.